Hey everybody. So,
Hello. Hopefully that will have fixed the feedback issue. Please let us know if it's ongoing.
We
all right,
good? Can everybody hear us?
let's give it a moment. Okay, so shall we continue on and just keep an eye on chat? Okay, let's see here.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Probably my fault.
Okay.
All right.
I guess we're just going to have to live with the feedback. Sorry, guys.
Are we still doing feedback?
Oh, yeah, I unmuted chat. It sounds awful.
Okay. Um, so, so day one, Kit went to fill out paperwork to be able to sell at the Goblin Market. Day two, Kit went to church and to try and get a feel for Sister Mary. Um, Day three, went back to the Goblin Market this time to do more like to actually purchase some stuff. Got some um, stuff to help with the hedge navigation. And day sorry, that was day three. Day four, went to apologize to Agatha. And then day five, spent the day with Minerva doing archaeology. It's real short of it.
Uh,
Alrighty, who wants to go next?
I'll happily go since the star of tonight's show can lead us in pretty well. So first off, I went and talked to Madam Anybody about the meeting we had last week, and honestly, basically felt her out for how she would run things if they were to achieve the queendom. Um, they said basically the whole freehold there's too many divisions everywhere, and Spring is supposed to be doing a job of holding the freehold together, and we honestly haven't. Spring under the previous king was too isolated, too internal, and uh, without the efforts of Spring holding them together, those divisions just got worse and worse. Um, then I went and looked for a set of armor for Kenzie and Bob. Apparently, there are child sizes in body armor. Depressing. But we were able to find one that would fit Bob, just so we have an answer for what if the huntsman tries to hurt our cat. And Kenzie has a matching set of riot armor, matching my own. I talked to Viscount Gustav about his most recent artwork, getting him talking and getting him to tell me the same thing. And he thinks we should be getting more in touch with our fey natures, expressing ourselves, and delving into the same kind of shit Autumn is, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time as an option. Uh, and thinks it's a profitable way forward for Spring. Um, I asked the person who runs the bar I'm working at, the Red Room, what it would cost to get my own franchise of the Red Room up and running. And I was told that I clearly had the chops for it, but I would still need to put together the franchise fee, which is $1 million, or 5 dots of cash, mechanics wise. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. And lastly, I went and tried to investigate that cult worshipping Oliver Oakhart's or Rattlebones' icon, and, well, there's there's this weird group of hobs that have chased some workmen out of a place they were operating and have built a church in its stead and are worshiping something weird in there. So that's probably where it is, or at least something worth checking out. And that's me.
Okay, so during my downtimes, I first went to go. I don't know if anyone remembers, but I've been holding drugs for Mario de Soto, one of the nobles of the Spring Court. Not distributing them, just holding in case any of the actual dealers needed them. And I did some deliveries. And I actually got to talk to Mario about his goals for the Spring Court. And if he were Spring King, he feels like everyone is way too uptight. He feels like we all need to relax and go lay in some meadows. And if everyone is chemically enhanced at the time, even better. So he's got my vote, but I'm Winter. The next day, Bob and I went around the hedge looking for anything fun that we could do. We actually stumbled upon a sphinx who gave us a riddle that I have the answer to, but we haven't been able to answer yet. We're gonna have to go back to him. And then we went out to find some Compass Rose goblin fruits, which should help us with navigating the hedge. And we found 3. I was getting a little bit nervous about the upcoming session. The upcoming day. And so I spent the day rereading Moggins' notebook again. And I've gained the informed condition regarding the ordeal of the Saint of Cats. So that'll help us out today. And I went out to befriend some local hobs. And Bob and I found a group of dour gnomes that told us about the same mad hobs that kicked them out of their workshop and hauled in some fancy box. So I have. They also let us know that they'll get it back because there's a tunnel behind the bookcase. So that was my downtimes.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Sorry for the delay there. I cannot type and talk at the same time unless I want to read what I'm typing. Fun fact. So let's go ahead and jump into it then. So today is Friday, August 20th, 2021. Where are you guys, and what are you currently doing?
Well, I believe we had an appointment with Mr. Moggins, so probably wherever he's expecting us.
Yep.
Fair point, well made. So the Motley is heading to meet Moggins in the hedge where he told them to meet. The meeting point is far off a trod into the thorns. Since you've been given directions to navigate there, I'm not going to make you roll for this. When you find him, Moggins is rolling up a cigarette and sitting on a rock. He nods at you as the group of you get into the clearing. You notice that there are dozens, maybe 100 Grimalkins here. Most of them from the freehold, some of them you don't recognize. Some of them are dressed in other unfamiliar clothes. And some of them are as furry as God made them, but not wearing anything else.
I bring out the catnip.
A handful of the Grimalkins head up to Kinsey, plaintively waiting for the catnip.
Oh, I hand out little sachets to whoever wants them. I've brought a lot.
I did say you had access to my wallet this week. I'm glad you're putting it to use.
Morgan smiles and says, I'm glad that you came prepared, but lass, I'm not sure that that's going to be of as much help as you think it might be.
Trials are one thing, but having the people that you're going to be working with being on their good side is more important.
Fair point. Well made. Have you brought your Grimalkin?
Yes, I did. I motioned to Bob in a fanfare.
Bob, being put on the spot, seems to be a little confused as roughly 100 Grimalkins watch him. He gives a small wave. Moggins hops down from his rock and goes over to inspect Bob, giving the kitten a little poke on the ear and a couple pats on the head, making sure to look over his teeth. You do seem to have been taking good care of him. He turns to Bob and says, and what do you think of Miss Kinsey here? Bob is silent for a couple moments, and then meows a few times in earnest. Moggins nods. Well, it's always good to be thought of well. Moggins nods at the others in the group. So, are you here to help?
Aye.
Yep.
It's my duty as their motley mate. Where they go, I go.
Moggins nods and walks back over to his rock to sit. Well, this ordeal will be simple. The rules aren't very difficult. You have your Grimalkin, raised and trained. That's the most important part. You can feel free to bring your motley mates if you want. One never has to face life's trials alone. Other than that, you simply have to bring this back. Moggins turns around and grabs something from behind him on the rock. The motley recognizes the package that they had helped him pick up from Screamer some time ago. He unwraps it slowly and then opens it up. Within, there is a small mouse who appears to be made of shining liquid silver. It peeps its head up out of the box, and all the Grimalkins stare at it, meowing amongst themselves in wonder. They call this the silver mouse, said Grimalkins. Said Moggins. Tis a wily creature, and like most changelings, hard to cage for any length of time. The ordeal requires that the new candidate must bring the silver mouse back to the current title holder in order to receive the title. He picks up the silver mouse, who looks at Moggins in the face, and then turns around facing a trod at the far end of the clearing. Are the four of you ready?
Yes.
The Grimalkins step back to make a path as one, as the mouse jumps down from Morgan's hands and runs as fast as it can directly off onto the trod. Bring back the mouse. No mouse, you fail.
I activate everything to increase my speed and chase after it.
Okay.
Well, starting strong.
Give me a chance die roll, please.
Alrighty.
Could you imagine?
Fail. That's a 4.
As Kit speeds off after the mouse, he notices that no matter how fast he goes, the mouse is always a few steps ahead. Now, would you like to take a beat and make this a dramatic failure?
I'll let Lex answer that. It's their show today.
Do it.
Okay, yeah, I take it.
His eyes on the mouse, Kit slams head first into a tree in front of him. Take 3 bashing damage, please.
I follow the sound of a righteous thump out into the hedge, I guess.
Yep.
I imagine we could hear that back from where we started.
The others follow the sound onto the trod. Here, the deep thorns of the hedge alter. Mist settles down to where you can barely see the sky, and instead of the familiar clear glass and barbed wire thorns of the Las Vegas hedge, you find yourself in a murky, dark forest with unfamiliar stars in the sky above. Kit is found sitting on the forest floor in a small clearing with a tree directly in the center. On the far end of the clearing, the 4 of you can see the silver mouse. It seems to wait for a moment just to make sure you've noticed it before running out. Looking around, you see nothing in this area but the tree, but you can hear something just on the edge of hearing. Is that something meowing?
I search around for the meow.
All right, give me a perception roll, please.
Can I assist?
You can if you want, yes.
In which case, I'll assist as well, because I am now extremely good at assisting. I am the best assister. Spring Mantle lets you add your mantle dots to mundane teamwork rolls. So enjoy your extra 3 successes from me.
And you're 7 from me?
I'm never going to have 8 again to help, but...
Exceptional success.
Alrighty. The group is looking around. when they eventually isolate the location of the sound, it appears that there is a small black kitten in the tree. It's hiding behind the branches and meowing quietly. You can just barely see that it's wearing a collar and has a little silver tag on it.
Kenzie activates my shadow thing and I scamper up the tree to the kitten. The one where I can walk through the shadows.
I'm not sure how well that would help with climbing a tree, but let's go ahead and give it a roll. Bear with me a moment. All right. Can you make a dexterity plus athletics check, please?
Three successes.
Kinsey melds into the shadows and heads up the tree, sitting on and rematerializes on the branch with the kitten. The kitten hunkers back for harder against the tree. You can see its ears lying flat on its head, but it's not making a move to hurt you or bite.
Hey there, it's okay. I can help you down from here.
Down below, you can see Bob looking up at the tree.
Bob, do you want to come up and help?
All right. He is a retainer, correct?
Yes, 5 dot.
Alrighty. Let me bring that up here. All right, what's Bob's field as a retainer?
I believe you said cat bodyguard last time we talked.
Yeah.
Then I suppose this would be in his field, so that means his dice pool is 10.
Okay, so I think both of you are waiting on the other person to roll that die.
Yes. Would you like me to roll it instead?
Oh, I got it, sorry. 3 successes.
All right. Bob heads up the tree. Being a cat, Bob has a much easier time of it than Kinsey, even with the use of magic. Up atop the tree, the others watch as Bob jumps up to interact with the kitten. Speaking of the others, do you guys want to let Kinsey and Bob handle this, or do you want to act in this scene?
I have a animal ken of 0, and I get the feeling that I'm going to get in the way. If you need a boost, I can provide a small one. Just let me know whenever you go, and I can take some photos of you and give you some suggestions on a way forward.
I got decent animal kin. I could try and assist as well.
Alrighty.
Or I could just basically keep an eye out for the silver mouse. Just keep an eye on it.
All right. If you want to do that, which one do you want to do? Do you want to assist Kinsey and Bob with the animal kin roll? Because there is one coming, obviously. Or do you want to keep an eye on the mouse?
I'm gonna keep an eye on the mouse.
All right. And Elliot?
I'm going to go fish my Polaroid camera out of my pack and wait for somebody to need me.
All right. So go ahead and make a perception roll, Kit. Kinsey, there's a couple different ways you can handle this. I will need something like a manipulation plus animal kin roll. You can do it yourself, or you can assist Bob if you wish.
I would like to assist Bob.
All right, well, we'll deal with Kit's roll in a moment. Kenzie, make your assist roll, and then Bob will roll his roll.
I got 3 successes on my assist.
All right, let me roll Bob's. I'll roll Bob from here on out.
Okay.
All right, Bob got 4 successes. All right, first off, Kit keeps an eye on the silver mouse. It has been sitting on the trod heading out of this clearing. But when the mouse notices Kit looking at it, it turns and runs down the trod and away from the tree. Up in the tree, Kinsey whispers a few words of encouragement to Bob, who leans forward and meows quietly to the kitten. The kitten relaxes slightly and steps forward onto Kinsey's lap.
I pet the kitten gently and check out the tag on it.
The black kitten purrs. You notice it has a white spot on its chest, and the silver tag on it, the collar, simply reads Tom.
Hi, Tom. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put you in the hood of my hoodie and we're gonna climb down, okay? So don't move too much.
All right, that'll be another dexterity plus athletics with a -3.
Could I do something first?
What do you wish to do?
I've had a little bit of time here, and I thought of something I could be doing while we're waiting. I have a couple glass bottles with me, and I'm going to basically make a nice little set of grips for them to climb down with.
All right, so since you've got some equipment, lower that penalty to a -2.
Okay.
Well powered, 3 successes.
Kenzie gently climbs down the tree with the black kitten in the hood of her hoodie. They reach the ground, and everyone is fine. Bob simply scurries on down. Being a cat, getting up and down a tree is not difficult for him.
I ask Bob to ask the kitten if he wants to come with us.
Bob meows quietly to the kitten, who meows back. Make a presence plus animal kin roll, please.
1 success.
Bob turns around and indicates that Tom has agreed to come with you.
So, did you see which way that one went, bud?
It ran off down that way. As soon as it noticed that I was keeping an eye on it, it darted off again. So I don't think it's worth me keeping an eye out for it. I think it's gonna wait for us every time.
Fair enough. Well, you're the one who saw the path it took, so lead on.
Yep. So I lead on.
The group heads out of the onto the trod and out of the clearing. Following it for a few moments, the fog descends around you, and ahead of you, the group can hear the heavy, somber sounds of bells.
As we've got a moment walking down this road, and everybody seems to be in a decent bit of cheer after passing the first hurdle, I'm going to use my inspiring merit to talk everybody up, do a little bit of performance with my bottle juggling, and get everyone in a good mood for finding and getting the silver mouse, to get the inspired condition for that. I believe presence plus expression should work for that.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Also, since they
2 successes.
since this
Sorry.
So while we're going here, I'm going to be using the Hansel stones to be marking our path. Since the clearing here on, since I didn't start before.
Alrighty, well, you can go ahead and drop them now. That'll be 1 glamour, please. You drop the Hansel stone at the entrance to the clearing. It shines with strong light that pierces the fog. As the group moves forward, they can hear the somber bells more and more clearly, until eventually their path is blocked by a slow-moving procession. There seem to be 9 figures draped in black veils, carrying a coffin that is likewise draped in black silk, with a gold crown set on top of it. Perching on the edge of the crown, you can see the silver mouse looking back at you.
Are these like people-sized figures, Hob-sized figures, Graham Malkin-sized figures?
They're roughly about 4 feet high, but with the veils they're wearing, it's hard to see much of them, except that they roughly appear to have 2 legs and 2 arms.
Okay, well, we can't just crash a funeral procession. Is there anyone standing around, or is it simply those 9 processioners?
The 9 processioners carrying the coffin are it.
I pull out a laser pointer. Maybe if it works on cats, it'll also work on the mouse. And I start to wiggle it around on the ground inside of the mouse.
All right, roll me a chance die, please.
Seven.
Would you like to take a beat and make this a dramatic failure?
Yes, I would.
All right, take your beat. When Kinsey pulls out the laser pointer and starts dragging the light along the ground, the silver mouse is apparently startled and jumps onto one of the processioners carrying the coffin. You hear a loud screech as the processioner appears to panic and falls over. This causes a chain reaction as all 9 fall in a pile, with the coffin atop them. The silver mouse runs as fast as it can down the trod and away.
I dart over to try and free the figures from beneath the coffin.
Yeah, I'm gonna help with that as well.
Same.
Could somebody else be taking the main role on this one, because I'm way better at helping?
With
Strength
the
plus athletics, please.
can I got a decent dice pool for that.
Well,
I
then
will assist.
Well, then wait patiently for my shiny 9 dice to maybe produce something for you. A single success.
Yep.
Talking a big game today.
Another single success.
Okay. That is
2 successes.
Yeah, that'll get me up to a dice pool of 8, so I'd say that's pretty good. 4 successes.
'Twas enough, apparently.
All right. The coffin is heavy. Kit runs over to the group of processioners and tries to drag it off. Eventually, with some help from Elliot and Kenzie, they succeed. The processioners are meanwhile one by one getting off of the pile. Their veils ripped and muddied. You can hear them cursing at each other in a language you don't quite understand. As the processioners stand up, you can see that they each appear to be 4-foot-high cats, black with a white spot on their chest, wearing funerary gear. One of them picks up the crown, which rolled away when the coffin fell. It's dirty and it got bent in the process.
I walk over and politely ask if I may be allowed to help fix that.
The cat turns around and looks directly at Elliot and says, "After you've already done this much to spoil the funeral of the King of Cats? Never."
I'd like to ask Bob to ask Tom if this is his people.
Bob meows plaintively to Tom. After a few moments, Tom jumps down from Kinsey's hood and meows up at the processioners. The processioners gasp in shock as they get down on their knees. "Prince Tom, thank you very much for coming. We were afraid we wouldn't find you in time. Unfortunately, Tim Taldrum was claimed recently by disease. All hail the new King of Cats, Tom Tildrum."
I take a knee, obviously.
As do I.
Yep. And I also take off my hat.
The kitten looks around quizzically, meowing. The processioner picks up Tom and carries him very gently. Together, the 9 cats organize themselves and put themselves back together around the coffin. The one who had spoken to Elliot sighs heavily and says, "Well, despite the disrespect you've given to the funeral of Tim, you've brought back our prince, so that counts for something. Would you like to accompany we people of the Ketshi to the resting place of the old king?"
It would be an honor.
Yes.
Yep.
The crown, though bent, is placed back on top of the coffin as the Ketchi pick it back up. Tom is likewise placed atop the coffin. The kitten sits down, looking for all the world like a perfectly normal kitten, as the Ketchi bow to him one last time before picking up the coffin and going along their way. The last one to pick up their handle beckons to the motley to follow.
I wait to see if Tom wants to be carried.
Tom is on top of the coffin.
Oh, okay, then I follow.
Is this the same direction that the mouse ran off?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
And keep a respectful distance behind.
And can I ask you all to give me an intelligence plus academics roll, please?
Well, that's going to be a very fun die pool. Willpower to have dice.
Yeah, same.
Same.
Would one of you like me to assist your roll?
Yeah, why don't you assist me?
I got a success.
All right.
Well, from Kit's deep past, he can vaguely remember hearing a language like this once before. Old Irish, Gaelic, I believe they called it.
3 successes.
Right. The rest of the group realizes likewise that the Ketchi must be speaking to one another in Gaelic.
I do not speak Gaelic, which is a shame.
Same.
The only time I've heard this was from behind a bar between a couple of patrons. And it seemed like they didn't want anybody listening in.
After a long 10 to 15 minutes of following the procession and listening and talking amongst themselves in Gaelic, you can hear Tom meow. One of the processioners hands his handle to the one beside him, who grips it with both paws and heads back with you. Prince Tom has mentioned that you do not speak the old tongue.
We thought it not our business.
True, snorts the Ketchi. But our prince says that you're coming with us, and that makes it our business. Uh, have ye been to the resting place of cats before?
No, we were out here seeking the silver mouse.
Aye, that we saw, he says darkly. And what will ye do with it?
Help. As many as I can.
Help who? Says the Ketchi, his eyes narrowed as he looks up into Kenzie's face.
The Grimalkins, cats, the Ketchi. Anyone I can, really.
After a few moments of consideration, the Ketchi nods as if accepting this answer. Another 20 minutes or so of walking along the path. The fog lifts, and the motley and the procession find themselves atop a hill. The trees give way. The trees give way to the rolling hill sand dunes of a desert. You can see buildings of white marble going down into a river valley. While they look very expensive, second glance notes that they are, though otherwise immaculate, ruined. At the far end of the city, the group can see the absolutely battered remains of a palace or perhaps a temple. The procession heads that way. The desert night is clearer than the foggy forest. As the group proceeds, they notice suddenly that the abandoned city no longer feels quite so dead.
What all do we see? What's making it not feel so dead?
Make a perception roll, please.
Four successes.
Right. Looking out into the night of the desert city, Kenzie can see the glowing eyes of many cats of different sizes, from house cats to tigers, lurking in the alleys of the city. They seem to be simply watching, staying away from the procession.
And we still have our own personal escort, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will they join the procession?
She shakes his head. No, the shades of the past will not join. Tin Tuldrum will be joining them soon enough. He looks around. In the past, Bubastis used to be a great city. You know. I don't think it even exists in the mortal world anymore.
Perhaps one day it could.
The Egyptians called this place Kerbast. the House of Bastet. Now, there's no one home but the shades of the past. Eventually, the procession reaches an area where the marble housing gives way to the familiar shapes of tombs, many tombs. They surround the palace at the far end of the city. The procession of Kate Shi stops eventually at one of the tombs, its door open. Can I ask the group of you to make a perception roll? Let's say at a -3.
All right.
Two successes.
One success.
I failed.
Kit and Elliot think as they approach they can see a hint of silver near the ruined palace. That being said, the procession stops at the open tomb. The Kate Shi with the group nods and says, Prince Tom says that if you wish, you can help lay the old king to rest.
I would be honored. What can I do to assist?
Right? Do the rest of you want to help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The Kate Shi begins talking you through the funerary rites. Let's make an extended roll here. There's 3 of you rolling. So let's say wits plus occult.
Okay.
I at least have dice for that.
We'll say that each roll takes 10 minutes, and I'll let you roll a total of 6 times with a target of 30 successes.
Technically, he's going from this life to the afterlife. Could I claim my specialization with portals?
I'll allow it.
All right. So who's got what dice?
I'm at 7.
With my specialization, I'm also at 7.
I think that I will not be adding as much making my own rolls and taking time. So, or would we each be rolling during the same time chunk?
I think this is each roll or each
Group of
we
rolls?
basically we roll in the same time chunk because we're working together.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So,
Okay, so it's 6 rolls each, not 6 rolls total.
Gotcha. Well, I suppose it's time to get started then.
All right. Elliot?
2 successes.
All right, total of 7 for round 1. All right.
23 remain.
5 rolls left.
Nothing.
$20 rolls remain.
All right, so did you get 2 this round, Kinsey?
Yes.
All right, so 3. You're right. 20 successes remain. Can I ask you guys to put round 3 in the notes of your die here? So I can tell which ones are which?
Yeah. Round 3. Da-da-da. Three successes.
Two
Right, so
successes.
that's 13 out of the 30.
Oh, hold on. I believe that's just from me. Sorry. For this round, it looks like it's a total of 9 for the third round.
No, there's
7.
2 and 3 and 2, so grand total of 8. We were at 20, so we're down to 12.
Oh.
3 plus 2 plus 2 is 7, isn't it?
You're right. I'm dumb. So we're down to 13.
Up
Sorry,
to
I'm an
13.
engineer. I can't do math.
Oh, right.
So we have.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I see where I messed up. Okay.
So we got 13 left. And that was.
No, you're up to 13. You have 17 remaining.
Okay. All right, shall we? All right, round 4. And
So 18, 12 successes remaining.
I'd like to resolve my inspired condition.
All right, that will be fine. Take your bonus from that.
Means that this is either. If you fail, you get a success. If you succeed, you get an exceptional. Burning a willpower.
So I succeeded, so I get 5, correct?
All right. On round 5, that means you've got a total, you've just got 7 successes for this round. And let me do the math briefly. That would be 29 successes.
So we need to have one success happen in this last round. I think we can do it, guys.
$33 successes total. One of the Kate Shi, the one who has been with the group, leads them through the funerary rites. A candle is handed to each of the Kate Shi and to the Motley. Prince Tom and Bob are given candles. Bob can hold his. Prince Tom does not appear to be able to do anything that a normal kitten would be able to do. The candle simply sits in front of him. The Kate Shi who has been speaking, interprets what the lead Kate Shi is saying. Though we've been blessed with the presence of the silver mouse, we have no mother, nor father, nor saint to oversee this funeral. Today, we shall say goodbye to the king of cats, Tim Tuldrum. His reign was long, and he was good to the Ketchi. But no one lives forever. And now, in Vibustus, the great city of Bastet, in ancient Egypt of past times, we say goodbye. Tim's shade shall reside in this city until Bastet returns, if she ever does. And with this, each of the Ketchi ring their funerary bells. We lay Tim to rest. The coffin is slid into the tomb, which is sealed with a marble slab. After this is done, the Ketchi gather around Tom. And now that the burial is complete, Tom must see the wise woman, and should he wish to become king. We will wait here. Tom heads for the ruined palace. What does the rest of you want to do?
We saw a silver over that way. What do you think?
I mean, we should at least follow him up to where we saw the silver until it moves again.
Yep.
The group follows the black kitten up the hill and to the ruined palace. Once this place was made of beautiful white marble, but most of it has fallen in and downwards. There were two large statues on each side of the entrance. Now they are both broken. One is mostly complete on its side, and you can see that it was a statue of a cat-headed woman holding an ankh. Presumably, the one on the right side is was likewise, but it is broken into too many pieces to tell. Deep inside, you can see the sparkle of silver as Tom trots into the palace.
I ask Bob to ask Tom if it's okay if we go after the silver.
Bob puts his paws to his mouth and meows out to the kitten, who answers back. Bob gives a thumbs up with his paw and scampers ahead.
Okay, I head after the glint of silver.
Elliot, you wanted to say something?
No, not offhand. I'm just trying to think of something I can be doing to help.
Inside the ruined palace is incredibly dark. You can make out the shapes of something inscribed in the walls, but with this light, you can't tell. Does anyone have anything that might produce light?
Would the laser pointer work?
Could I assist with something? So we're in the hedge, right? We're still very much in the hedge.
Very much, yes.
I'm going to take out a bottle of high-proof alcohol and start shaping it to essentially make a lantern. I'm going to be doing some hedge spinning to make this actually work.
Alrighty.
So that's a -1 because I'm hedge spinning. Would you take wits plus crafts plus alcohol?
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
All right. A success is not enough, so I'm going to willpower that. Three successes. All right, that gives me 2 points to head spin with, and with subtle shifts, would you accept that as a minor or beneficial twist of luck, or basically riffing off the general idea of equipment, ballistic armor, weapons generally being in that area of I've made a light source?
I mean, I would say this is a type of equipment, yeah.
All right, so yeah, I make some equipment that's bright enough to be worth a +2, I guess.
All right. In that case, since you've got a +2 lantern, let's say make a perception roll at a -3 to see if you can see what's on the walls.
I pass the lantern to the person who can see better than I can.
Alrighty, and we roll that. Go. I'm gonna spend a willpower to re-roll that actually.
Why? You can, but a success is a success unless you really want to go for an exceptional here.
Okay. I'll leave it be then.
Uh, so, uh, Elliot fashions a lantern out of glass and hands it to Kit. With the dim light of the lantern, Kit is able to make out the carvings on the wall. He sees on the wall a carving of a woman with a cat's head, surrounded by what appear to be normal cats. Some on four legs, some on standing on their hind legs. The cat-headed woman appears to be handing something. It looks like a ring to a figure of a man. Following the carvings down the wall, you can see the figure of the man with the ring held over his head, surrounded by cats. A later carving shows the man in the same position, but with all the cats standing on their hind legs. The next few carvings are a little different. First, you see a larger carving of a conventional cat. 4 legs, tail, everything that you would expect from a normal cat. The next carving shows a similar cat on hind legs. This cat appears to be wearing a wrap and a headdress of sorts. Another carving shows multiple cats. One of them heading east as a with one of the cats heading east. This cat has 2 tails. The cat on its hind legs is heading north, and a mass of smaller cats are heading south and west. Following the carvings further, you see more and more unconventional cats. The cat with 2 tails, cats on their hind legs, cats with 3 eyes, a cat that appears to be made of flame, all sorts of magic-looking cats. And then there's another carving of the male figure that had the ring from before, passing the ring to another person. This one appears to be a female figure, dressed very differently. whereas the man appears to have been in Egyptian clothing and is wearing the same. The woman is wearing what appears to be an ancient-looking robe of some sort, with two rods holding her hair in a bun. As you progress down, you see further and further carvings of various cats and cat-like goblins, and more carvings of the ring being passed from person to person.
I wonder if that's the silver mouse.
I don't know how I would call on this, but did Moggins have a ring like that?
You do vaguely remember him wearing a ring, but it didn't appear to be anything special.
We seem to have traveled a fair ways. What else is about?
You're now deep into the ruined palace. You can no longer see anything around you without the light. There are pushed over columns and heaps of rubble here and there. You can no longer see or hear Tom or any hint of the silver mouse.
Okay. I'm going to say sorry about the bright light and turn and take a photo of Kenzie.
Alrighty. Kenzie?
Kenzie gets her photo taken.
So, portents and visions. Let me pull this up real quick. On page 137 for those playing along at home. All right, so portents and visions. The catch for that one is that if I tear a photo of the target, I can go without spending glamour. I am going to select future and see the most important event, promise, or deal coming up for the target in the next few days. I figure probably something coming up ahead is going to be important, and this will give us something to work with.
Elliot has a brief vision of Kinsey with the motley behind her, staring down a huge, intimidating stone door.
I describe it in as much detail as I can to Kinsey, and I guess we need to start looking for a way forward.
Actually, did you make your roll?
My apologies. Manipulation plus occult plus weird. What's your composure?
Mine?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a contested roll.
1.
And your weird?
Also 1.
All right, then Kinsey, you're rolling 2.
You do not want to do well on this.
I mean, I guess you don't actually have to roll since you don't want to resist, right?
I would rather not resist.
Yeah, so let's just make this a regular old -2 then. Manipulation plus occult plus weird -2, please.
All right. Plus willpower. 3 successes.
Alrighty.
And
Well, we've already got the vision. No need to go over that again. Just wanted to see if you might get a exceptional success. And you did not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what next, everybody?
I'm a darkling. Would you accept dexterity plus larceny to steal the dark from the sky as a hedge spinning roll?
I figured you meant as a hedge spinning roll. So you're going to try to light the place up by stealing the dark?
Yes.
Sure.
Damn.
An exceptional success.
Alrighty, that means that you're going to have 4 points to work with. Do you want to make a subtle shift or a paradigm shift?
Page 204 is subtle shifts, and honestly, you could pull this off pretty easily with that. Honestly, I've got kind of an idea if you're willing to accept suggestions.
Go for it.
We're in a dark night, right? Put
Yes.
a Cheshire Cat grin of a moon in the sky.
Oh, you're inside a palace, a ruined palace.
Ah,
I'm sorry if I haven't been describing anything.
well then all you have to do is just refill the sconces. I imagine there was once light in here.
Yeah, I mean the 4 cost subtle shift, change one physical property of hedge object structure or terrain feature not currently in use.
So yeah, that would work for lighting things up.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Alrighty. So, pardon me for just a moment. I am
Why don't we
turning
talk
on
amongst
the air
ourselves while
conditioning.
you handle what you need to? So
So I
far,
think that.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is your night. You go first.
So I think that finding everything in here is going to be a lot easier with it lit up. And just refilling the sconces should be enough to light the palace. And I'm looking for anything that glints. And honestly, anything that looks interesting. Because I think one of my goals going forward is going to be to rebuild this place.
Definitely a good idea. So here's what I'm getting out of this. We're following a ritual. The mouse is leading us. The mouse isn't. We aren't pursuing the mouse. We are being led around a ritual circle. And so I think what we really need to do is figure out where Tom has gone, and that's going to be where the mouse is. So if we can't find any other leads when the lights turn on, I'm just going to relentless pursuit Tom and see where we go.
Yeah, I could try. I could see if I can try tracking him. I got a specialty in that.
Does that make sense to anyone else?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And everything that the mouse has led us to is something that any good saint of cats wouldn't be able to pass. I'm really enjoying this so far.
So far, we've gotten a lot of things.
Sorry, everybody. Finish up, and we can go onward.
Alrighty.
So, if anything else to say, feel free to get it off your chest.
No, I think we got ourselves all in order. Is there anything you need, Kenzie?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right. The roll having been made and succeeded, Kinsey reaches out and starts tearing away bits of the dark, revealing light behind it shining from torches in the various sconces. This having been done, you now have a much better view of the ruined palace around you. You have followed this hallway into a large room that has split along 4 hallways. One that you came from, one leading left, one leading right, and one leading forward. Beyond the carvings on the wall and the rubble of the palace around you, there doesn't seem to be much else to see.
And there's no glint of silver.
Not right now.
Tom's a person, right? Meaningfully, in some extent. He seems like a person to me.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to see it.
I think if anywhere in the world he's a person, it's here. With that in mind, we don't have another lead, and the silver mouse is an item, so I can't chase that. But I can follow a person, and with that, I'm going to burn 2 glamour and whisper Tom's full name to the air. Tom Tumbledown, I believe it was?
If you're looking for Tom, it was Tom Tildrum. And before you spend your glamour, it does have some tracking ability. Do you guys want to try that too? Or do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I can give it a go. So wits plus investigation with specialty in tracking? I made it. Oh, okay. So that was 3 successes in sound.
Alrighty. Looking around the area, Kit notices 2 sets of tracks. One small set of tracks and one set larger. They're both 4-legged tracks. The smallest set takes the right hallway, and the larger set takes the left.
When we're talking smaller or larger, are we talking cat, mouse?
The larger set of tracks does seem to be roughly the size of a house cat, and the smaller set of tracks seems to be rodent size.
Okay, so they did diverge. Can we follow the the smaller tracks, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your show.
And we are specifically here for the silver mouse.
Plus, the thing Tom is doing feels kind of private.
Oh, hydrate if... Thank you, Rose. All right, so then we follow the silver mouse.
All right. You follow the smallest set of tracks down a hallway. You make several turns following the tracks until eventually you do see a small hint of silver. Everyone give me a perception check.
You got it.
One success.
Two success.
Kinsey notes a small hint of silver above. Looking up, Kinsey sees the silver mouse sitting on sitting at the edge of what used to be the top of a set of stairs leading upwards. The stairs seem to have collapsed. Kit, meanwhile, his ears perk up as he hears some rumbling in the ceiling. Elliot also believes that upstairs and around the bend, he can just barely hear some footsteps.
Kit, would you be able to perceive us some non-ruined stairs? And hedge spin them?
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna. So basically, you just want me to see if I can find a path up for us,
Or pitch a roll that will allow you to hedge spin some unbroken stairs.
Okay. How about well, I got a bunch of stone and stuff like that. What about just seeing if I could craft some stairs? So wits plus crafts?
Would you like assistance with that?
Sure.
Come on, let this pay off. Spent a lot of XP on this joke. 4 successes. Enjoy.
Okay. Yeah, that's solid. That's gonna get me up to 10. Yeah.
Alrighty, roll them bones.
No, not 10. Hold on a sec. 11. 3 successes. And I believe just travel, make a minor location change. Wait, no, I only have 2 to work with, right?
Yep.
Okay. How about a minor twist of luck? So while there aren't stairs, there are like footholds and stuff to make the climbing easier.
That'll allow. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Right. Together, Elliot and Kit are able to clean out areas of the wall that can be used as footholds. The rumble in the ceiling that Kit heard earlier gets louder, and suddenly the ceiling begins to cave in. Can I get a dexterity plus athletics check from everyone?
Absolutely. May I take the penalty to hedge spin with that?
If you wish.
All right. That's an exceptional success, which means I've got 4 to go with, and I have a vision in my head.
Alrighty.
Have you ever seen one of those things where like a waiter like loses control of a plate and he catches the plate and stacks up all of the fallen drinks on it without spilling all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Reacting instantly, our bartender friend grabs a nearby stone and gathers up all of the falling stone into a neat little stack, which he sets aside. Uh, I'm
Alrighty.
I'm using the head spinning to make a my a new localized terrain feature, a pile of stone over here. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
It makes sense to me. So Elliot catches all the stone and puts it aside. And it looks like the others succeeded their roles too. So no one gets hit by the ceiling, and Elliot is able to sort it out to make sure that the way back isn't blocked.
I I didn't want us to get nailed in, even if we got through it okay.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
And we only have the direct way back with your Hansel stones. Without those, we're basically
Yeah.
running blind. So, I think we saw a shiver of silver up here. Any sign of it now?
Uh, it does appear to have the mouse does appear to have left. Do you wish to follow it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Alrighty, so it is now possible to climb up the wall. So give me give me an appropriate roll, dexterity plus athletics or something similar, in order to get up the wall, please.
well, we've got this convenient pile of stone here, which should make it at least a little easier. Um,
Can I pitch grapple?
Against the wall?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
I'm gonna Dex plus Athletics my way up.
Same.
Same.
I fail.
All right. Kit and Kinsey are able to scurry up the wall, but Elliot doesn't seem to be able to quite make it.
Uh,
He's.
Question.
Mhm.
Am I allowed to take this as a dramatic failure?
If you wish.
I would like to.
All right. Take the beat then.
Everyone else got one tonight. I was feeling left out.
All right. As the two look down on as the two look down from above on Elliot as he falls down as he fell down and wipes himself off. They notice some two large bright eyes in the shadows. A large wildcat steps out of one of the corners. It appears to be a white tiger. It approaches Elliot, sniffing.
I don't suppose you've got any of that catnip left up there?
I do. I pull out a sachet of catnip and silvervine and throw it down. And I also pull out the laser pointer and point it away from Elliot.
Well, that's certainly a thing. Let's see. I think that would be, say, wits plus animal kin?
Okay.
Can I assist?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we're looking at 2 dice to start with. Let's hope we can get more than that.
There's 3 more sound.
Better than I started with.
Wait, I
Alright.
thought
Who's rolling wits plus animal kin?
I am the guy with a tiger in front of me.
I thought it was Kenzie who was trying to
Oh, even
Yeah.
better.
distract it.
It's one of us.
3
has dice.
successes. That was with the willpower.
And the white tiger looks up at the catnip raining from above. It looks over at the laser pointer on the wall, blinking some of the catnip out of its eyes. It sneezes briefly. After a few moments, it seems to make a decision and steps back away from Elliot.
So
Can I unfurl a rope down to Elliot to tie around his waist to get up these stairs now?
Do you have a rope?
Yes.
Then yes.
at the very least I have a rope.
we packed for like exploration. I'm sure one of you does. Anyways, I take the rope and I make my way up.
Alrighty. Elliot is able to climb up the rope this time. The group find themselves up atop the area of the ruined stairs, looking down. The white tiger looks back up from above, and after a few moments, it nods and then goes back down the hallway that the group came from.
Alrighty. I believe it went, this way.
Okay, we follow.
All right.
I didn't have maulings as a risk for this evening's activity. But hey, isn't the first time I've seen a white tiger. This is Vegas.
He was just curious.
You are a cat person.
So, the group follows the hallway around. At far down, you can see a hint of silver around before the mouse squirries around a corner. Following the mouse around, you find yourself in a much larger room. In the middle of this room is a figure sitting on the ground, legs crossed. You can see the defined pectoral muscles of a human being, but looking up, you see the head of a jaguar. This man is holding in his hands a what appears to be a wooden club with edges of onyx stone driven into it. The mouse scurries onto the palm of the jaguar-headed man, who puts the mouse atop his head and stands up. He is easily 10 feet tall. He stands up and looks down at you.
Hello. I don't suppose we could have that mouse.
The jaguar-headed man looks looks at each of you in turn, and then pauses on Bob for a moment. It looks at back to Kinsey and speaks in a language that Kinsey does not understand.
Hey, Bob, does he want something that sounds nice?
Bob steps forward and meows to the jaguar-headed man. For a moment, the jaguar-headed man seems to tense. He raises his club, but Bob steps forward again and meows a little bit more. Satisfied, the jaguar-headed man puts the club down, looks back down at Kinsey, and croaks in badly accented English. Do you desire the silver mouse?
Yes.
What will you do with it?
I aim to help cats of all kinds. To protect them from harm. And hopefully to rebuild this place.
The jaguar-headed man seems to be satisfied with the answer. He reaches up atop his head and grabs the silver mouse, who hops down and scurries through the hallway. The jaguar-headed man stands to the side.
Thank you.
He nods and motions onward.
We follow the mouse.
The mouse leads you down a short hallway towards a huge, intimidating stone door. The door opens briefly for the mouse and then shuts behind it.
Enjoy your shiny new informed condition. Because I've been here before.
Okay, so
Is there anything written on the door?
Looking at the door in more detail, it's covered in dust and scratches, but you can just about make out a design on it. There is a large ankh and a cat held by a cat-headed woman. And below, there are the image of a handprint with the image of a paw inside of it.
I hold my hand out to Bob.
Bob looks somewhat puzzled, but takes Kinsey's hand.
Why don't you two try pushing the door open together?
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
All right, so you guys want to do that?
Yeah, Bob and I want to try and push the door open together.
All right, with one hand and one paw on it, the stone door swings open easily.
What do I see beyond it?
Darkness. Beyond it, you can see nothing but impenetrable darkness.
I can see in low light, right? As a darkling and no light.
You know, I feel incredibly stupid. I am so annoyed at myself, in fact. I pull my cell phone out of my pocket and press the flashlight button.
Together, you illuminate the darkness, and Kinsey can see through it. The darkness is instead replaced with the starry void of sky, going down, down, down forever.
I think this one's for you two.
Actually, I have a thing in my bag. If I step into this room, will I die a gruesome death? And I roll the knuckle bones.
Alrighty, pay your glamour.
Done.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Kinsey rolls a 7 on the knuckle bones.
Me flipping through pages trying to remember how the knuckle bones work.
So an odd result represents a no response.
Sounds like you're safe.
I step in.
Do Kit and Elliot want to follow?
Well, we did say that, we're in this together, so
What
yeah.
are we gonna do? Stand outside here looking like idiots? I follow in their footsteps as precisely as I can.
All right, the group steps through the stone door. The stars swirl around you, and suddenly you find a floor beneath your feet. A old wooden door closes behind you. You find yourself in a small cabin. Through a window nearby, you can see snow falling heavily in what appears to be a pine forest. This cabin is made of wood. There's a few chairs here and there, bundles of various herbs and spices, and in the center of the room, a massive cauldron. An old woman is tending to it. A familiar black kitten scurries across the floor and gets up into the old woman's lap. She looks up and smiles. So I see that you're here. She reaches a hand up and presents, so you all can see it, the silver mouse before stashing it back in her pocket. Take a seat, the four of you. No need standing around like this.
I find chairs and present them for my allies before taking a seat myself.
Kenzie sits.
Yep. Kit sits as well.
So Tom has told me of you. He told me that you rescued him from the tree. He told me that you messed up the procession of his father to his funeral. But the four of you made good, fixed it as best you could, and went along with the Cape She to lay the old king to rest. And then you accompanied Tom into the palace and left him. She steeples her fingers. Why did you rescue Tom from the tree, but leave him alone in the palace?
Because he was surrounded by the eyes of his ancestors, in a place to meet the wise woman, and it seemed private. He's just lost his father. It seemed rude to intrude on something that could be personal, even if we didn't fully understand it.
She narrows her eyes, but seems to accept the answer. The other two, tell me, why are you here? What relation do you have to the cat folk?
I count many of them among my friends and compatriots. I have learned with them and served with them. And, of course, I am motley mate, friend, and ally to the one who seeks to become the saint.
The old woman peers at Kit. And you?
Well, they've been good to me and helped me. It'd be wrong of me to not repay that.
And you, she says gravely, looking Bob in the eyes. Bob answers with about 30 seconds of frantic meowing. She accepts this with a wordless nod and moves on. In the palace, you met two guardians, a white tiger and a jaguar warrior. You did not fight either. Can you tell me why?
There's no reason to resolve things with violence.
They were doing a right and proper job guarding this place. I am the intruder here.
Didn't seem necessary.
And Tom also tells me that you assisted in the laying to rest of Tim Taldrum. What did you think of the Ketchi and their ways?
It seems like an older way than I would know. I'm still quite young in my lifetime. But it's a thing to be respected. and cherished, really. It seems to have a lot of honor placed on it.
I was granted more honor than I was due, and I owe them repayment of debt, and I will find a way to do that in time. But today is not my journey, and they did not wish what help I had to offer.
The old woman listens. And did you have anything else to add, Kit?
No, I'm good.
She nods and says, I believe that you may be fit, but that is not for me to decide. She reaches into her pocket and brings up the silver mouse. It stands on the palm of her hand for a moment before jumping into the cauldron. The woman gestures towards it and says, if you wish the silver mouse, follow it to your final judgment. I will not stop you.
Kenzie stands up and jumps into the cauldron.
Thank you for welcoming us into your home. It was a blessing to meet you, man. I follow my compatriot.
I nod to the woman politely and follow as well.
The time may come when your friend sits here in judgment of yet another. Remember well what you learned. The group has jumped into the cauldron. There is a brief flash of heat and then the sensation of falling. After several minutes, the group finds themselves laying on the ground on what appears to be a cobblestone road. Looking around, it is dead of night, and the rotting wood remains of a small town. Here and there, you can see moldering yellow bones in the grass. Not the bones of cats, like you might expect considering where you are, but human-sized bones. Somewhat further down the path, you see a town square with a gallows. The wood is old and rotten, but from the gallows hangs two ancient bodies, now rotted away to skeletons, wearing scraps of cloth that may have once been a meager dress and perhaps a peasant man's clothing as well. The silver mouse is sitting on the gallows.
Well, I have a feeling I understand what they mean by judgment. Kenzie walks up towards the gallows, seeing if the mouse darts away.
The mouse doesn't move. But the group suddenly finds themselves surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of eyes in the darkness. Together, hundreds of hissing voices in unison, you step foot into Ulthar. And now you will be judged.
Kenzie bows in general, not to anyone specific, but to the voices, the cats about.
I stand behind my compatriot and await judgment.
The voices in unison bark out a harsh word. Frivolous. Cool. We heard you say that the power of the saint would be cool. Did you wish to become the saint of cats on a whim?
I'd only just learned about it, and it does seem cool. It's not a whim, though. I feel like this could be calling, a quest, a journey, a reason for living.
Kinsey Morgan, you do not think. You were snatched away by the Lord of Tales and left to rot in a lamp. Did you ever consider that perhaps if you put thought into your life, you would not have been taken?
But then I wouldn't be here today.
You have committed many sins, Kinsey Morgan. And you bring other sinners into the midst of Ulthar. You, Elliot,
Aye, sir.
selfish, greedy. Why did you step foot in Ulthar? Do you truly believe you can help this wayward person as the Saint of Cats?
I believe that the cats have done right by us, and that Kenzie has done right in every case where they could for others. I believe in the heart of who Kenzie is, and I believe it would be best for everyone if they were able to help all these wonderful Grimalkins I have met. Moggins has every faith in Kenzie. There's no reason why I wouldn't. And certainly I am selfish. But part of being selfish is caring about the people who matter to me. I am here for Kenzie, and I am here for Bob. And I am here for every one of those who served alongside me inside the 4 seasons.
The voice of the cats seems to be satisfied. Kit Cotton, you too are a sinner. A man out of time, grasping for what was lost. Do you realize what became of your family after you were taken?
I've gotten an idea of the picture, yes.
How do you expect to help a saint nurture the cats if you cannot take care of your own family?
Well, quite honestly, I don't. But I expect to do what I can. I am not prideful enough to think that I'm going to make a difference in this whole proceedings. But I have to try for my friends and my new family.
A presumptuous trio. And you, Bob the Grimalkin. Short weeks ago, you were a cat like any other. You were brought here into the hedge, suffused with fairy magic. And now you think like a human. They have done to you what the Fae have done to them. Do you not resent these sinners for what they have taken? Kenzie, can you give me a luck roll, chance die, please?
That's a 5.
Bob meows uncertainly. You are not sure. What do you mean you are not sure, Bob the Grimalkin? Speak and let these sinners know what they have done to you. Bob looks up at Kinsey and meows plaintively. Kinsey, can you make me a composure plus animal kin roll, please?
Am I allowed to help?
You guys can all help if you wish.
Okay, so that's 3 more dice to dice pool there, Kinsey.
Just a second. 2 more dice for you, so that's 5.
And I would like to resolve my informed condition.
So
Alrighty. So with the resolution of informed, that I believe, let's see. If it succeeds, it's an exceptional success. Kinsey reaches down and strokes Bob's head. Bob turns back around and coughs into his paws before looking back up at the Castle Lothar. He coughs once more and then says, I don't know what was taken except cold and hunger. I lived on the streets. Yes, I have the same fairy curse they do. but I believe it's worth it. Well spoken, young Grimalkin. The cats part briefly, and the 9 Kate She step forward from among them. The one in front holding the black kitten. The wise woman understands what you did, why you did what you did. But you committed a grievous sin against the Kate She when you made them drop the body of the old king. How can you expect the new King Tom to forgive you? Do you even deserve it?
Is it your place to speak for him?
The kitten stands up in the arms of the Kate She and gives one loud, decisive meow. Ah. The cats of Ulthar move forward, surrounding the motley. King Tom believes you have a good heart. The Kate She vouch for you. You sinners should be honored. It is only by their words that you do not join the moldering bones of the sinners of Ulthar.
I bow to King Tom.
I kneel behind Kenzie and await further.
I do the same.
The cats close in, and one of them steps forward. It's a nondescript, fluffy gray cat. He grabs the silver mouse in his teeth, trots up to Kenzie, and puts it in her hands. You are imperfect, Saint, speak the cats of Ulthar in unison. But that is no reason for you to die. You shall return to Babustus someday. And then, perhaps, you will be allowed to walk freely the streets of Ulthar.
Thank you for your judgment.
The cats part. You can see a trod ahead of you, leading forward. The silver mouse squeaks quietly and scrunches its way down into your hand.
If you let that thing go, I swear to God.
I have like the sturdiest grip on this mouse.
I guess we follow Kenzie out.
The group walks along the trod. The dark forest gives way to the bright daylight and glass cacti of the Las Vegas edge, and soon you find yourselves back in the clearing, with Morgan sitting on his rock smoking a cigarette amongst the busy Grimalkins. He looks up and says, "Hi, you're back." He smiles and says, "Did you catch the mouse?"
I did, and I present it to him.
He smiles.
You missed the procession of the King of Cats passing.
Oh, was it Tim Toldrum again?
Yes.
He nods and says, the inheritance ritual isn't quite a real thing. The Ketchi are real, very real. But what you experienced is more like memories of the past. When I met the Ketchi, I knocked down the coffin to try to get the mouse off it. How did you handle it?
I may have shined a laser pointer trying to entice the mouse, and the coffin fell on top of all of them.
He laughs and said, "Did you have to face the Ketchi in battle?"
We didn't face anyone in battle.
He raises an eyebrow. "Not even the Jaguar warrior?"
He allowed us to pass after a simple question.
He whistles through his teeth. "Well, there are ways and ways to pass, lass. But what's important is that a good cat always catches their mouse." He takes the mouse from Kinsey. The silver mouse sits in Morgan's hand as he presents his other hand to it with the ring. The silver mouse gets up on its hind legs and gently kisses the ring before running out of the clearing. The old tarnished ring begins to glow anew as Morgan takes it off his hand and holds it out to Kinsey.
Kenzie slips the ring on with a small bow to Moggins.
Dozens of cats break out into applause, meowing happily as Kinsey takes the ring. Moggins almost visibly slumps the moment that the ring is taken from him. He smiles, but the light in his eyes appears to have gone out a little. "Well, lass, is it everything you dreamed of? Put on the ring. Take the title."
I do so.
As the ring slots onto Kinsey's hand, it glows briefly. She is assailed with memories of dozens and dozens of prior saints. Moggins and his predecessor and his predecessor and his predecessor before him. The visions subside briefly, and Kinsey notes now that a handful of the Grimalkins have broken away to tend to Moggins. The rest of the Grimalkins gather around Kinsey, laughing and clapping as only cats can.
I check on Moggins.
Moggins coughs and takes a drag on his cigarette as several Grimalkins help him to his feet. He seems very unsteady. He waves a hand and says, "Don't worry, Les. Time catches up to us all.
Thank you for this honor. I'm not supposed to say it's cool.
He grins. Did you have a hard time in Ulthar?
They think that I am a frivolous sinner, but I'll do my best to prove them wrong.
He waves his hand without much consideration and goes, the cats of Ulthar are nitpickers, they are. If they truly disapproved of you, they'd have eaten you down to your bones.
There were an awful lot of bones.
Not everyone who makes this trek makes it back. This is an old title, lass. The one who had it before me said that some folk even believe that it descended from the old goddess of Egypt. There's power in it, and that means it's not easy to take on. There will be times when the duty seems heavier upon you than you can imagine. It isn't simply petting a lot of cats.
There is still petting a lot of cats involved, right?
If you wish it to be.
Okay.
Morgan slumps down and says, I'm tired. I'm going to take my leave, lass. If you listen to an old man's advice one last time, just remember to go with what's in your heart. When you look at these wee ones and see how they feel about you, you'll know whether or not you've made the right decision. Several Grimalkins help Moggins as he slowly makes his way towards the trod. You hear hoofbeats and a small coach with two horses driven by one of the Grimalkins pulls up. The Grimalkins help Moggins into the coach. He smiles and waves as he slumps on the seat, breathing heavily. And the coach heads away.
I can understand all of them now, right?
You cannot understand them any better than you could before. But what was that?
We are going to either have to see if we can buy you the language merit for these guys, or like go find something that'll help decode them in the goblin market. This is going to be untenable long term.
The Grimalkins swarm around Kinsey, meowing and purring and clapping. One of them hands her a bag that full of various cans of cat food, cat treats, and you notice a couple of boxes of chicken nuggets.
Well, it looks like we've set out for a feast.
Bob looks up at you. They say that it's to celebrate the new saint.
Well, then let's celebrate. Being that the three of us have thumbs, we start opening cat food.
The Grimalkins set out plates and set up plastic tables, and they begin setting up what looks to be a righteous feast for at least 3 dozen cats and 3 people. I want to ask, do you guys have anything else that you want to do today? Or otherwise, I believe we've reached the natural end of this session.
I think anything we could do after this would just completely ruin the tone that we've got here. This is a perfect place to stay off. I would not want to do any of the other plans we have tonight.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll be ending here with the Feast of Cats. So, let's go around the table and do everyone's aspirations. Who wants to go first?
I will, if that's okay.
Kinsey?
I did not take any steps towards becoming a winter knight.
That's true.
I did find the silver mouse.
Absolutely.
I became a saint.
Yes.
I think I went above and beyond on my make a new friend aspiration, because I seem to have made several.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I did get unstuck because we are no longer in a cauldron.
I'll give you that one, okay? All right, who next?
Okay. So I don't believe I made any progress on stopping the rattling, finding my fetch, or finding a solution for the huntsman. But I would definitely think that I made a step towards feeding the people, because I just fed a bunch of Grimalkins.
Yes, and I would also say that you did make some progress in stopping the rattling, since you did help one of your motley mates acquire a powerful new title.
Okay.
All right, and Elliot, you're the last one left.
All right. Provide support to Kenzie. Kenzie, was I helpful tonight?
Very much so.
There we go. Be a good uncle for Bob. I think I was supportive to our fellow cat as well. And, well, Bob's not my uncle. I can be Bob's uncle. Pass the exam for a bar. I found out what I need to have in order to get myself my own franchise. And I'm going to have to figure out how to get $1 million together. Restore the rest of Mimsatch. I've got another solid lead on a piece of Oliver Oakhart, which I can trade for more of him. And playing Kingmaker, well, I just got, thanks to the help of my allies, a summary of what everyone's intentions for King in spring would be. So I feel like that information is definitely useful for becoming Kingmaker.
I'll give you that one.
So that's 5 beats, putting me at 2 XP, 3 beats.
All right, well, thank you everyone for coming out today. We always appreciate it. Just another reminder about Onyx Path game night on the last Friday with the month, which is the 26th, just under 2 weeks. And again, here's the link for the Storyteller screen sale at Indie Press Revolution. Thanks again for coming out, everyone, and I hope you have a good night.